What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for the long-awaited video. A lot of people have asked for this for months now, but yes, it is the buy, sell, bench video. Should be pretty short, but we'll see and we'll go through. I'll let you know about not the rules as such, but just how I'm going to do it today. Before I get into it, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and drop your comments and drop your thoughts, because obviously this is my keep sell bench. This isn't what I'm saying that Leeds are going to do or what I believe they will do or what you guys should think. You guys put yours in the comments, but this is my own personal preference. Obviously, I'm going to kick off with something before, because we just had breaking news, in the last hour or so about Andrea Radrizzani. More news that we just don't need right now in this moment of uncertainty. We just have more of it coming. But I'm only going to just touch on it because I don't know too much about it. And I've always said if I don't know something, I prefer not to speak. Stevie C, big up KG, mate. Big up to everybody. Liam Moore in the house. Igor, what's up, KG? Been looking forward to this one. Yeah, I know a few of you have. A few of you have. Michelle is in the house. Shout out to you. Gil saying conference, here we come. But yeah. Oh, and shout out to Lucy, who's a new member of the channel. Always love to see females that have joined. But yeah, memberships are in the description. And also, because I have forgotten to do it in the last few times, Mr. P for the super thanks, John Abbott, Karen Curtin, John L, and David Roberts. So thank you for the support on the last videos. Absolutely appreciate it all. Deshaun saying we've been waiting for this one. Yeah, I know. But listen, let's talk about Radrizzani quickly. We'll get into that. And some of you already started with the Rads out stuff. Why us? Why is it always Leeds United? Why is it always us that has... Oh, why do we have this? But anyway, listen, let me just get one of the quotes here. Because we've obviously heard that in the last hour or so, Adam Crafton, who's pictured there, and Phil Hay have uncovered that in terms of Sampdoria being bought, it looks like Elland Road is going to be used as an asset in order to secure the loan. Now, like I say, nothing is confirmed yet. It's not on company's house yet, so we don't really know too much in regards to that, if it is true. And Andrea's response there, as you can see in the picture, what Acer Ventures does with its assets, including Leeds and Elland Road, it's none of your business. And just at this point, it's just something that we don't need. And you would think that if we was in the Premier League and flirting with Europe, let's just dream about that, you would still be looking at it going, this doesn't sound right. Why are we using our ground to secure a loan to get another football club for the owner? But one thing I always say, and people don't like to hear it, is that we are at the mercy of business people because we don't own it. So unless we're going to get a GoFundMe together and buy Elland Road ourselves, we're always going to be at the mercy of businessmen, and business people use assets as collateral to get other ventures. Whenever you hear someone is 600 million wealthy or something like that, doesn't mean they got 600 million in the bank. It's their assets and everything in total. And Andrea Radrizzani, if it's true, is using Elland Road to secure Sampdoria. And we won't know on company's house probably for maybe a week or so if it is true, because it does take a while to update on those systems, having known something like that. But I mean, why at this point is this happening? And it just makes you think as well. For me, my initial thoughts, just off the top of my head, is that he's banking on Leeds United going back up straight away. It all smells of him banking on Leeds United returning to the Premier League at the first opportunity, where he can then sort out his loans and everything else like that. But it also goes back to just thinking of, why don't we think more of the here and now rather than the future? Much like the Rutter signing, where that was really for the future. These kind of investments seem like it's based on Leeds United coming back up when he gets a bigger price for the club and the Premier League money that will help pay off these loans. The other thing that ran through my mind, with this is, If it is true that the stadium is being used, I hope he keeps up with the loan payments, because if he doesn't, I just foresaw an instance where we're doing a Coventry City of previous years, and we're scrapping around for a home venue. Now imagine us, Leeds United, having to go to Bradford City, Huddersfield Town, and saying, "Hey, can we move in for a little bit? Our house is being fumigated." It's the worst case scenario for me. Absolute worst case scenario. So if it is true, do you make sure whatever you've agreed with the loan, pay it, because we cannot afford for an Italian bank to say, you know what, you've defaulted on your payments. We're seizing Elland Road. What a nightmare, people. What a nightmare. And we just don't need it at this time of uncertainty, where we still have no manager, no director of football. It's clear Radrizzani is staying on in some capacity after his statement yesterday. But the reason why I don't want to say too much about it is because I'm sure that Acer Ventures and Radrizzani will come out with another statement clarifying what they're going to do with the club and everything else like that. And if this is true, because the cat's out the bag now. I think he was trying to do this in secret, but the cat is out the bag. Um, Liam Moore saying the Glazers borrowed money to buy Manchester, even though they could buy it outright. They use the clubs as business, not pleasure. Yeah, if you remember, Liam, with Man United, I'm pretty sure they were debt free before the Glazers took over. I don't quote me on that, but I think they were close to debt free. As soon as they bought the club, they piled a whole bunch of debt into Manchester United. Now, obviously, Manchester United are a juggernaut, and they can keep on spending as much as they want because they generate a lot of income. We're not in that position. So, but yeah, that is what owners can do. You know, they can secure other things against the stadiums because they own the assets. The other thing that was worrying for me is that if it is true that there's been no communication with Angus Kinnear and the 49ers, because then that is a boardroom war. And again, we don't need that right now. We don't need it. And if they haven't been informed that he has secured this loan against the stadium, I mean, the 49ers will probably look at that and say, well, we thought the stadium was included in the price. We're going to have to go back and look at that. Angus Kinnear, probably, can I trust this guy? Once directors and chairman and everyone else at the top start bickering with each other, it becomes a power struggle. It becomes a war, doesn't it? And we just don't need that. We need to get things sorted out so we can return to the Premier League. Never mind all this stuff. Exactly, Stevie C. You can't have two boardrooms running different agendas, complete mess. And you just wonder, don't you? You just wonder if it was, as someone saying here, it's just exploring. But even so, you just wonder that if he was to go ahead with this, has he felt like he's been burned by listening to other people with the Premier League decisions, whether it be Victor or the 49ers with certain signings and keeping certain players? Does he just feel, you know what, I'm not listening to anybody anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I need to do. It's mad, isn't it? But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to speak too much about it because we don't have the full picture, but absolutely a report that we just did not need to read. I mean, I was setting up for the stream and I'm reading it. I'm going, oh my Lord. It's just Leeds United, and it's not as bad as the GFH Chilino Bates days. You know, when you were in those days, you can remember how bad it was, but it feels like we're almost looking over the edge, like, can we go back to those days? And I just hope it doesn't go back there. Apparently, there's going to be some kind of protest, allegedly. I don't know how true that is. I've just seen it quickly on social media, so again, can't delve into that. But protests and everything else, look, we give these players enough excuses already. This happened in the championship, so they could be poor. No, man. Oh, Karen saying Ridsdale comes to mind. I mean, you know what the thing is as well. Radrizzani, for all his good work that he did do, it's kind of like the same that I've said with the players that got us promoted. Because we're back in the same position again, it's like, well, you did all that for nothing. It's been 3 years of absolute nothing. And can he restore it and do it again? Because that is what he's banking on. That, for me, that is what he's banking on with all these ventures, with all these loans, alleged loans, that we are going to come back up on the first time of asking. But in doing so, he's going to have to get some appointments right. And again, no manager yet. Allardyce was supposed to be talking. Don't want Allardyce. Please don't let that happen. The final team sheet on the last game of the season against Tottenham told us everything we need to know. I did listen to some of that Tippy Tappy podcast, and I mean some. It's very hard to listen to, I must say. And yeah, Robin Koch, Jack Harrison, Luke Ayling. Nah, if that's your talent ID, thank you very much, but see you later. And Michelle saying, flipping heck, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. Yeah, for me, the worst part is still the relegation. I'm not going to take my focus off that. The relegation from the Premier League after all those years out of it is still the worst. But it's these little nuggets on top that just make it even worse. And we're not hearing any of this from Leicester, Southampton, who have come down with us. No, they're trying to get things back in place. You're hearing them being linked with players. We're being linked with players, but it's empty links because we've got no one in place. It's just all guesswork. Other teams have got managers, other teams have got plans in place to make moves. But yeah, we're not there yet, people. We're not there until the appointments that Andrea spoke about yesterday in his statement are made. Alfie saying, how can things go so bad, KG? Mismanagement, Alfie. When you don't do things right, when you try and do things on the cheap, when you're too loyal to certain people, and I'm talking players and the people around you, when you trust the wrong people, you go into the position we're in right now. Everton are so lucky. They just must be relegation proof because they've kind of gone through this over the past few years, which is why they're one of the very few teams in the Premier League that face FFP sanctions because they overspent on absolute dross, but they've escaped each time, so they're getting another chance to reset. We are not that lucky. We've never been that lucky. We got away with it once. We was never going to get away with it again. Yeah, Tony, when we thought the badge change was the worst thing they could do, yeah, I mean, it's just a catalog of stuff, isn't it? Just a catalog of stuff. Why is this? Um, Marching on podcast. KG, you're not worried. The fact that we've been part leverage buyout and parachute payments will magically disappear to Italy. Apparently, all the 21s, under 21s have been touted out too. Look, I don't know who's been touted out or not marching on podcast, but worried, I would say I'm worried in that we still have no clearer idea on the 1st of June as we're doing this stream today, that we don't know who's going to be in charge. We don't know who is our director of football. We don't know the players that are coming and going. And listen, Liam Cooper's come out with a statement. Oh, look, we'll talk about Liam Cooper when we get into the keep sell bench thing. But even he says that we don't know as players at this point in time yesterday about who's going to be here or not. We need to get a move on, people. It's June now. We're in June now. We need to get a move on. Absolutely vital that we get a move on if we have any chance of getting promoted on the first time of asking. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely insane, people. Paul here, that ninth place finish feels like 20 years ago, and let alone 2. Yeah. And Paul, the thing is as well, you see in Brighton, you see in Brentford, and all those other teams. Brentford have already got a new keeper in because David Raya is not signing a new contract. They're not waiting around. They're not hoping that he's going to stay. They've just said, you know what, fine, we'll go and get another goalkeeper. Brighton at the moment probably going to lose McAllister and Caicedo. They're making moves to make sure that their squad is still as strong for Europe next season. We finished 9th and we signed Dan James, Junior Firpo, and said, let's hope for the best. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm afraid. It's cheap, and it was hoping that these guys could go again, and it was clear as day. The warning signs were there during the season without fans there that these guys were not going to go again. But hey, is what it is now, isn't it? We can keep talking about things that have gone wrong because it's current to our situation as we speak today. So don't worry about it. I know we did the review with Michael and talk about the season, but we can keep revisiting stuff when it's prevalent because it all it encapsulates why we're back in the championship now. So yeah. Matt Decor saying one simple word, chances. Yeah, and he's taken another one, isn't he? He's taken another one in that Leeds are going to come back up. He's not accepting the whatever bid that 49ers were going to put in. If they were going to put in a new bid for the championship club, he's going to bank on us getting back up at the first time of asking and then probably leave next summer. But Look, I hope it works out that way. That's what we've got to hope. It's all well and good people saying Rad's out and everything else like that. I get it, but we have to hope that scenario happens because if we don't go up this season, it's only going to get harder next season when our parachute payments reduce. So we need to get things in order now. Um, but yeah, Jack Wilson, shout out to you, Jack. Our squad is full of dross jellyfish. Well, shall we go into that now? Yeah, that's what you're here for, isn't it? That is what you're here for. Let me just say this as well because their pictures aren't on the graphic I've got. Um, so let me just talk about Charlie Creswell. For me, is a keep. I feel that we need to keep him. I think that he will be a good asset for us going forward in the championship. And he's played there this season. And from what I hear, got better as the season went on, which is good to hear because he was struggling for a while. Let's hope that he stays. Let me just say this: I'm not going to do it as a realistic thing because otherwise I don't know how many people would be going, and obviously some of the people in my keep, I wouldn't be able to put in my keep. But I'm just going to do it off what I feel, and I'll explain it as we go along. Okay. But Charlie Creswell, I would keep. Mateo Joseph, who hasn't got a picture either, I would definitely keep for the bench. I feel like he is going to break through this season. And if it isn't in the championship, when is it going to be? I feel like he's got the instincts to be that striker to make an impact off the bench and possibly even get in the starting lineup. It's a possibility. He looks like he's got that instinct. So Mateo Joseph, um, Sonny Perkins, again, I would keep as well as an option. Let's see what his ceiling is like. I don't think his ceiling is as high as Joseph's in terms of goal scoring, but I think as an all-round forward, he could be a bit of like a glue piece up there. I think he could be that kind of player. And we saw in games where he did play, he was pretty good at people who love it, pressing from the front. So I feel like he would give us that, and he does have a goal in him too. Um, Michael here saying, KG, when you look to keep or bench a player, do you take their age into account? Not really. Not really. It's just more about the quality of the player and who I feel is going to be the most effective to keep us up or to get us back up. I should say keep us up. Here's me. Yeah, so it's more to do with that. Um, but if you're talking about some of the players that I think you're speaking of, some of them are well past the sell by date, but not everyone is in that category. Um, but yeah, let's have a look. Who else is on that one? Leo Yelder again. I think we could use as an asset down there. I think he's got championship potential as well. And Dan James is the one. Now he is the one. Why I put bench with a question mark. He's one of those for me where he could go in the sell column. Yeah, but like Thomas here, James will be decent in the championship, and Scott Lightning really echoed my thoughts here. James, I want to keep if two of the wingers leave, but he's not starter over the other three. And this is where I stand with Dan James. Please let me make this clear. Let me make this clear. I don't think that he is a Premier League player. I just don't. And it wasn't fair to him. Bielsa and Marsh both play him as a striker. But I feel like in the championship, his pace could be an asset for us at times where it gets sticky on that Tuesday, Wednesday game. He could come on and make a difference with his pace. And even in the Premier League, when he was playing out of position, he did used to get us up the pitch and win free kicks. His shooting and everything else like that, I don't think is ever going to improve. But as a pacey asset on the wing, and he does get back as well. In all fairness to him, when he did used to play on the wing on those few occasions, he did get back as well. But let's see. Let me get a little temperature test in the chat now, and obviously in the comments after. What would you do with Dan James? T85 saying James off the uh, bench would be handy. Deshaun saying, nah, get that guy out of here, man. I can't stand DJ. I know. And Sam here, he's finishing though. I know, I get all of that. It's just that we're talking about the championship here. And when I'm telling you about the championship not being a great league, I feel like if he just gives you that pace, remember that player at Swansea. If he just gave you that, he could be a good asset off the bench. But I'm easily I could be swayed on this one. There's not a lot I can be swayed on this one. But Dan James, I'm willing to say sell or bench. Um, Listen, John H. He's on the pretty big wage. Yeah, wages kind of come into it with these kind of things, but I'm just thinking more of the asset of the player. If the wage is too big, then the club will try and offload them for sure, 100%. Jack Wilson saying, "Please go, Dan James." Yeah, okay, right. But Paul saying, "Please keep him from the Championship defo." That's what I mean. Marching on podcast saying James can stay. He's handy in the Championship regardless. Keeping it, at least we know he performs at this level rather than selling him and recruiting an unknown quantity. Uh, okay, yeah, Helder Costa, he's on the sell list, by the way. Yeah, him and Ian Pervader both sell. Not even close for me. Both of them need to be gone. But yeah, those are the names that don't have pictures on this graphic that I've got. No, Joe, we're not there yet. They're on the graphic coming up though, and you won't like it. So yeah. But yeah, listen, in the comments, let me know, Dan James, because I am leaning towards bench just purely for the pace and an asset that he brings in the championship. I think it could be an asset, but let me just make it clear one more time for you. I don't think he's a Premier League player. Okay. But yeah. Brendan McCormack saying to think Leeds could have got Bowen over James. Yeah. Man, I wish we did, but hey, well, he wasn't going to come anyway, was he? And we were doing it was a loan to buy, wasn't it? We was trying to do what we was doing with Dan James in that we was going to loan him and then buy him once we reached the Prem. So Hull weren't going to have that. But yeah, let's have a look then. Let me get the graphic up and let's get into it. Here we are. Don't forget, people, smash a like on the video, please. The best way to help the channel. So here we are. Here we go, people. Now, where shall we start? You know what? Let's just get McKennie out the way because he's going back regardless. So McKennie is an easy sell, and that's purely because he's not going to be here. So there's no point even talking about him. He was on loan with view to an option to buy. It's not being taken up by either party. Let's forget Weston McKennie. He is gone. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, would other championship teams have Dan James? Of course they would. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even I'm struggling to recalibrate my mind as to some of these players being good in the championship. I am, but I've done my best. But there is a left back that I'm looking at. There is a player I'm looking at that I'm going to do a separate video on that I think that we should go for and could be possibility to sign for Leeds United. But yeah, but McKennie is gone. Let's go to somebody else. Are we doing this in order or just shall I do random ones, man? Yeah, let's just do random ones. Okay, Elan Melier, people. He's going straight in my soul column. I think that the time is up for Elan Melier. I still think there's a good goalkeeper in there. I generally do, but I just feel like he's one, and this is going to be a little bit of a common theme in this one, that he needs a fresh start. And if Spurs are looking at him, if Chelsea, Man United are looking at him, good luck to him. I hope we get a good fee. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the fee that I thought it was going to be at one stage. I thought we could easily get 25 to 30 million for him. But judging by his performances over the last 2 years in total, especially this season, I think it's going to be hard to get that. But if we can get anywhere near that, we've done very, very well. What is everyone saying? I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously, but I'll try and get to as many as I can. And obviously in the comments. What is going on with these? What is happening here? Yeah. SB saying, yep, sell Melier sad, but he needs to go. Slow, steady Steve, good at changing light bulbs, though. Ted Garron saying worst distribution of any keeper. And you know what? You'd never have believed that, would you, in terms of when he had his debut against Arsenal? You'd never believe it, would you? But yeah, Jaguar saying sell Mez. Is anyone to keep him? I'm not saying oh yeah, okay, here we go. Sean Williams saying 20 million or keep. If we get 20 million, Sean, that would be very good considering his form over the last couple of years. I guess though, like we've done with other players, you're buying the potential because there is potential there. I know it's hard for people to see and remember, but there definitely is a good goalkeeper in there. But I think his time at Leeds is up. Jack is saying, forget the sentiment, folks. We'll see how much they forget in a bit. There's always one. Listen, people, everyone has their own opinions. It's fine. It's okay. Surely. There's always one. Um, but yeah, for me, I mean, Tommy Darko, he's too flappy and inconsistent. When I was bringing this up early in the season, before it got trendy to talk about Melia being not a very good goalkeeper, a lot of people weren't accepting it. There were shots going through him that shouldn't have been going through him. Some would actually hit his wrist and still go in, and you can't have that in the Premier League. You can't have it in any league. To be honest, it's just not a good. It doesn't give the defense in front of you any confidence either. And let's face it, the defense in front of him definitely did every bit of confidence that they could have. And he just wasn't it. He's not a commanding goalkeeper. I'll always back him on a bearing down one-on-one chance, but that's not enough, I'm afraid. Um, but yeah, Mr. P in the house. I finally caught a live stream, KG. Good afternoon, or yeah, defo. Thank you, Mr. P. Always supporting the channel. Right, let's go to the next person. Let's go to the next person. Let me mix it up a little. Um, there's a lot of cells on here, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of cells. Let's go Mark Rucker next, people. Mark Rucker, he is in my cell column as well. And this isn't because I think Mark Rucker is a bad player. Far from it. I think he is a good player. But I think we've seen this season that he's the Premier League isn't for him. The one good game that I remember him having was against Forest, and that is because Forest gave us the absolute freedom of the midfield where he was dictating play and looking like an absolute world beater. But unfortunately, with Rucker, there has been games where I haven't even noticed him playing. There was one game in particular. I know I've said it before, but there is one game in particular I remember where I don't remember him running. I don't remember him pressing. I don't remember him tracking back. I don't remember him passing the ball, shooting, tackling. I don't remember him doing anything, but allegedly he started the game. Sorry, that means you're hiding, and we don't need that. There was times as well when it was him and Adams in midfield. When he ventures up the pitch, he's not the quickest, and he couldn't get back quick enough to help out Adams in the midfield. For me, Mark Rucker, I think he does have suitors as well. I think he leaves in the summer. What are we saying, Jack? Wow. Rucker is the new Union O'Kane. And that's another thing that disappointed me as well. I thought his fitness levels were down to him being a bit part player at Bayern Munich, but you saw through the season he couldn't complete 90 minutes. I don't know, man. Steel Esto is saying keep Rucker. Championship might be good for him. Hmm. Yeah. And Mohammed is also echoing that he would be great in the championship with a possession-based manager. That is a point, Mohammed, but at this point we don't know who we're going to get. And I just feel like it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. I still think he's a good player. I know it sounds contradictory, but I know what I mean in this. But I think he'll thrive going back to Spain or maybe back to Germany. Okay. And yeah, I agree with this as well, Nick. I don't think another Premier League team comes in for him. I think he goes back to the continent. So yeah, let's go through this. Let's go. Let's go. I'm still on the cells, innit? I'm still on the cells. Is there anyone to keep? Okay, let's go with this guy. Tyler Adams. Now, this is obviously a pipe dream. Well, it's not a pipe dream because we're still hearing whispers that he may stay. It's unlikely. What I will say, it's unlikely because he has a lot of suitors. But if we could keep Tyler Adams and he becomes captain, that's 100% for me. He becomes captain of the club. He's the new leader. Um, maybe as well, if he stays, we can make a promise, rejig his contract, make him sign a new, offer him a new contract with incentives just to say you're definitely going for this set price if we don't go up on the first time of asking, anything else like that. But I just feel we should do everything within our power to keep this guy because not only is he a Premier League player, I think he would kill the championship. The physical game suits him. I think it would suit him down to a T. What are we saying, people? Yeah, T85. Oh, captain, my captain. One thou wow. Mark saying our best player, one of them definitely. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, give him all the clauses, man. The Santa clauses, promotion bonus, goal bonus, assist bonus, clean sheet bonus. I stepped on the pitch bonus. I don't care. Just do everything you can to keep this man in at the club, please. Yeah, like Sam saying, give us a season. If it doesn't work out, Tyler, you will go. Much like Calvin Phillips had that promise. Jack Grealish at Villa had that kind of promise. We will give you that too. Um, Stevie C saying, I would love him to stay, build a team around him. He could be as influential as Colin Strachan. He's definitely an influential figure, and that's for me why he is my captain choice, 100%. And you just think about him working with a Charlie Creswell. Think about that steel back there, Charlie Creswell behind Tyler Adams. Oh man, I like the sound of that in the championship. Yeah, man, haircut bonus. Any bonus you want, Tyler, it's yours. All right, it is yours. And I don't think that playing in the championship would affect his international career either, as well, with him being the US captain. I think that they would, I think they would I don't think they'd mind. It's not like a nation like a Spain or one of those where they need everyone in the top tier playing for the best teams. I feel like the USA, I mean, they played Josh Sargent, didn't they? It didn't affect him, I don't think. So yeah, absolutely 100% Tyler Adams, and he is captain for me. Goes without saying. Um, but yeah, who we going with next, people? Let me get another name in the uh Robles. Joel Robles. Let's go with another goalkeeper. I would keep him on the bench. Uh if we can't get anyone better, I hope we do get a better goalkeeper. But I think he was, apart from the Spurs game, I think he was good to have around. He's definitely a commanding goalkeeper. He's definitely a leader back there. So I would bench him. What we saying, people, about Robles? We won't spend too long on him. Yeah, Econ saying Robles says he wants to stay too. I haven't seen that, but if it's true, cool. Matt saying keepers backup. Yeah. John Fat saying agreed, decent bench option. Okay. Yep. Is anyone saying sell? No, no one saying sell. If you feel like you want to sell, let me know in the comments. But not going to spend too long on the backup goalkeeper. Let's go Furpo. His smile just stuck out to me there. Furpo, man. Apart from the 1 month you had where you looked like you were looking like a decent left back, you gotta go, buddy. Sorry, not good enough. And I worry about him in the championship too. If he was getting booked as much as he did in the Prem, we're never going to see him in the champ. It would be fouls all day long. So, yeah, for me, it's a sell. What is everyone saying? Michelle is saying, sell. Seastone, will anyone take him? One thing I've always said, people, is that there were takers for almost every player. Not even the worst players that you can think of have still gotten moves throughout their careers. Isn't that true? So there will always be someone for Junior Firpo, and I believe someone back in Spain might even take him. Hey, that was a great show, Snug Mario Void. I wish they'd bring it back, but they probably can't in this era, innit? You can't avoid anyone now. Too snowflakey, and oh no, you can't say that. Everyone's pretty. Yeah, they won't bring that show back. That was a great show though. Some people say I'll drive football to the airport. You guys are ruthless, man. Carlos football to La Liga too. You know what, man? Don't make me laugh with this. Oh, Lord. Evie here saying, sell, sell, sell. Seems like a lovely guy, but he's just not there. And listen, people, this is what we got to separate. This is not the if Joe's still here, this is not the Passion Merchant channel. I don't care how nice they are as guys. We need people that can do the business on the pitch. There's no point having nice guys in the dressing room except for a relegation. Oh, we've done that. Let's not do it again, people. Coffee Soup saying too risky to sell, not bringing in two left backs and needs options. Well, this is on the basis. This is the on the basis that we're going to replace the players. I'm obviously not just going to sell a bunch of players and not have replacements, but I'm not here to give suggestions for the replacements. Obviously, I'm doing the video based on the fact that we're selling players in lieu of replacing them. I would have hoped that was pretty obvious. Jaguar Skill saying, yeah, Leeds ain't a charity. We're not. We've acted like one though the past couple of years, 100%. Lewis, yep, sell, no bozo gene, please. Yeah, we need less bozos as possible. So sorry, Junior, it doesn't look like anybody wants to keep you that I've seen anyway. If you do, put it in the comments. Right, let's go. You know who I'm having trouble with here, and I'm willing to be talked into the cell. Rasmus Christensen. I know what I've said about him this season, but again, I'm trying to think of it from a championship level. Could he do something for us in the championship? Please let me know what is going on here. Right. Steve the Searcher saying Rasmus can do a job as centre back and can score goals. Keep. That's what I'm thinking. He got what 3 goals this season, and you just think with the championship being much lower quality, could he do something? Neville here saying Christensen will be one of the best players in the championship. See, so I'm not as insane as I thought I was, because I was questioning myself. I was talking to myself with this one. I was like, no, I've seen him. He looks like Bambi on ice. But against Rotherham at home, surely no. Bob's though saying sell him. He's awful on the ball and awareness is awful. Yeah. But Sam here, he stinks of a championship right back, and that's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with it. I know the chat's moving mad. I have actually put it into foreshaw mode, but people are getting their comments in. I can only do so much. I can only do so much, but I'm trying to get to as many of you as possible. Matt Decor saying 100% keep Cage. You haven't lost it, bro. Yeah, he's not on the keep. He's on the bench. I need to make that just very clear, okay? Because keep would imply that I feel like he's the one to take us up from the championship into the Prem and continue. No, 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 no more. Lewis though is saying I would never play him at right back again. Though, with it, there's nowhere to play him. Then is there? Oh, centre back, isn't there? But how many centre backs do we need? Because I've got a few centre backs that we kept that don't have graphics. So yeah. MT Swifty just saying bench would be great for him and would be a warrior on the pitch in the championship when he gets game time. I know that's what I'm thinking, but you know what? I can imagine this is going to come back to haunt me. I'm going to leave him on the bench, as insane as it sounds for how I've spoke about Rasmus this year, but I just feel like championship could be his level. Oh man, I almost feel dirty doing that, but let's move on to somebody else. Going back into the sell column, I'm afraid, and it's Pascal. I'm afraid that for me, Pascal's race is run at Leeds United. I feel like he needs a fresh start. I think there'll probably be some people that will think that he should be benched or maybe even kept. But for me, I feel like Pascal needs a new scenery, much like Melier. I think it's time to go. Let me know. Let me know what you think now. So Nidar saying sell for Strauk, and Carlos Alberto regressed massively, and there's not upside there anymore. The upside's gone. And you're taught, and again, people, long-term subscribers know what I thought of Pascal. I thought he was going to be one of the next big things. But even his ball playing abilities have disappeared. They've absolutely gone. And you know, he looks so unsure on the pitch. He's 23 years old now. He should be a more commanding presence, especially when you see him in person. But it's just not there. I don't think it's going to happen for him here. Maybe he goes on to somewhere else, gets a better coach, and it comes to him, and we see the full potential of Pascal. I just don't think it's going to happen here. Evie here saying used to love Strout, but he's not the same player. He's meek, so meek, so meek. And yeah, Liam, exactly. You know what I'm saying, Liam. You loved him, yeah, but I'm not like other people. I change with the evidence. When you're showing me something and it's for a prolonged period of time, I have to believe that's the truth. And for so long, Pascal has been so bad. And we can talk about him playing out of position at left back, but even at positions when he played at left back for Bielsa at times, he was much better than what we've seen this season. There was a time where the weak link down the team was Pascal at left back, and then he had to get dropped. You know, and let's not forget when he had the captain's armband against Cardiff. Oh my lord! Sorry, Stroud. I love you, guy, but no. Yeah, Alfie, Virgil van Stroud turned into Virgil van. You know what? I know. Carlos Alberto saying can get offers for him from Eredivisie. Yeah, I feel like again, as bad as he's been, there's going to be interest in a centre back like Pascal Struijk, and unlike where I thought he would go, I thought he would be going next to Van Dijk, next to Liverpool at some point, maybe even being an option for Man City, much like Nathan Ake has been for them. He's nowhere near the level. He's nowhere near the level. And Red Dead Brett, a tremendous name. He's too nice. You have to be a bit of a B-star to be a decent defender. Yeah, I always look at people like Rudiger, and even if he was a quarter of Rudiger, he'd have some dog in him. But he hasn't even got a quarter of what Rudiger's got. Yeah, for me, has to go, man. Sorry, Pascal, man. I wish I could say something better for you. Cody Drame. Let's go back into the keep column. Cody Drame, for me, if we can persuade him to sign a new deal and stay. He's our starting right back next season for so many reasons. He's quick, agile, and let's face it, he's got 2 years of championship experience, and he's been really good in both years, especially this season with Luton. So for me, Cody Drame is to keep. I hope he stays, and he is our right back this season. What is everybody saying? Alfie saying keep at all costs. Yep. Deshaun keep if we can. That's the big thing, isn't it? Sean is saying he won't come back, and I'm of that thinking at the moment. But if Leeds can offer him a new deal and say, Cody, I know we've messed you about twice, but you are going to be our right back, I think there's a chance he stays. But if Luton are going to buy him, it's hard to say no to regular Premier League football too, isn't it? Again, these are things that are up in the air. We'll have to see. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him for leaving 100%. No. German is saying drama keep, but not sure he really wants to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. P saying keep Cody, give him time, not just one game against Arsenal. You in a depleted team, by the way. And he wasn't even the worst player. There was one of the goals where it was literally through all our experienced players, and no one ever talks about that goal. Forshaw failing to clear the ball out the box, and then someone just getting in behind him scoring. No one talks about that goal. They keep talking about drama versus Arsenal. Again, promotion squad equity. Let's have a look. What is going on here? Oh Lord, my energy is too good for this, people. We're not going to do that. Bradley, though, saying, come on, even though you're Premier League, Luton surely can't top Leeds. Luton will be dead bottom and back down. You're right, Bradley, but it's a window opportunity, isn't it? If he performs just half decent at Luton in the Prem, then there'll be other Premier League teams that will look at him. So you can kind of see it. But I hear exactly what you're saying. Come back up with Leeds United, and you've possibly got more of a chance of staying than at Luton. But the Premier League, it's just a big shop window. It's huge. And if you just put in half decent performance, look at Lavia at Southampton, dead last, but Lavia is now being linked with bigger clubs because of how he's performed. The window of Premier League football is just too great. But yeah, let's move on to somebody else. Man, we need to breeze through some of these. Klaassen. Klaassen. Do we keep Klaassen as a third goalkeeper? Let's just get this one done very quickly. I'm just thinking Klaassen, keep him as a third goalkeeper around the place. Yeah, that's all I got for that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. What we saying? Yeah. Who? But some people saying sell, sell pointless, fair. But yeah, listen, let's just move on from that one. I'm just gonna say bench to keep as your third choice goalkeeper. Let's have a look. Should we go back into the keep column? Right. Let's go into the keep column. Again, this one's gonna be a bit of a wish. Rodrigo. This is going to be a bit of a wish here because we're hearing some big whispers that there's clubs that want to take him on, and you can't be surprised with that. 13 league goals in this team from this season is tremendous, and he was injured for a couple months of the season. If we could keep Rodrigo, if it was affordable, if you could hold his wages in the championship, I believe he's top scorer, no problem, absolutely no problem. But I feel like he will be one that will leave. But yeah, for me, Rodrigo, I would try and keep him as our main striker. What are we saying, people? Oh, am I okay? What is happening here? Where is everybody? Testing 1 2. Are you guys still here? Hold on a minute. I'm still live, right? Oh, okay. Everyone's back now. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah. It's just that the chat stream on StreamYard just frozen. Um, Mineral saying keep. Captain Elwood though saying sell. No longevity. Would prefer to go with the younger player. I hear that. I do actually hear that as well. But just imagine he gives us that one last season and he gets the goals to keep us up. Yeah, I can see everyone can hear me. Yeah, I know. Sometimes StreamYard, it's not the best. It's not the best. JC though is saying I would cash in on him. His age is against him, and we can get better in the championship. I hear that too. 100%. I hear that. Um, yeah, I do hear that as well. But then I also hear this would smash the championship. I hear that too. So yeah, I'm fluid with the Rodrigo thing. I do get about selling him and possibly getting someone in that 25-year-old to 30 bracket, and get the money for him and let him move on. I think he deserves to move on as well after the season he has. I think in total, and me and Michael did touch upon it, that overall, if you look at his spell at Leeds United overall, it hasn't been a success. But when you isolate this season alone, he's more than done his part. More than done his part. So yeah, if he stays, cool. If not, I understand. Let's move on to somebody else. Oh man, I'm gonna sell Sam Greenwood. What we saying to Sam Greenwood, people? I'm only gonna sell him just purely just for a just to raise some funds. And again, he's almost moving into the Tyler Roberts scenario for me. Oh, by the way, Tyler Roberts, sell. But Sam Greenwood is almost moving into that territory where he came as a striker, but he's moved around so much that I don't know what his best position is. And I think just keeping him for set pieces, I think is very obtuse to look at, because I think there'll be other players that we can bring in that can do more than just set pieces. But let me know what you think. Let's go. Let's go. JC would bench him and loan him. Okay. Gavin would say 1,000% sell. He's not good enough. Skip also echoing that no one knows his best position. Yeah. Uh, Evie also saying sell. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, what is that? AFV saying sell because he can't close his mouth. He's catching flies. What? I don't even. You know what? Now you've said that, I'm gonna be looking out for that. I'm gonna be looking out for that. That's what happens with me. If I don't notice something, I'll look out for it, and then I won't be able to unsee it. But yeah, Stevie C, he takes corners and free kicks, but not sure what else he gives. Yeah, yeah. For me, no, Luffs. No, we're selling Roberts, actively selling him, and he's not going back to QPR, so we're gonna have to find him a new home. Who else? Where should we go next? Robin Cock, sell. This list is getting a little long on the sell. It's going to get longer. But for me, Robin Koch just hasn't done enough. And I feel like he's been actively moving, looking for a move away. I think there's going to be takers in Germany. We've heard he's been linked with Spurs as well. So I think it's inevitable he leaves. But also as well, I just don't feel he's physical enough for the championship. Just looking at him. I mean, I saw him in midfield against Spurs. If you guys watched that, you would never believe he was a professional footballer. You would never believe it. He could hardly control the ball. Now, I know he was playing defensive midfield, sometimes central, but that still doesn't negate the fact that you can't control the ball. And for me, his best spells have been when Max Verber's been next to him holding his hand. Other than that, he looks very, very ordinary. So if we can get a good fee for him, I think that's a job well done. Um, JC is saying, "Can't get out of here. Has to go back to Germany. He will shine over there." Bert saying, "I'd get cock out. I do every day. Tremendous." Uh, Jordan saying, "Sell 2 week for the Prem or champ. No passion." Yeah. Is anyone to keep? If it is to keep, let me know now, because if it's gone, I can't see it now. But yeah, T85 can't probably charge people with his porn star tash. Tremendous. But yeah. Yeah, and even his spot in the Germany squad, by the way, has been taken over by Bella Kotchap. So that tells you another thing as well, doesn't it? But yeah, I feel like he'll have suitors back in Germany, and good luck to him. Robin Koch, off you go. Right. Let's go. Yeah. You know what? Let's just get him out the way. Llorente, who played in a Europa League final last night. By the way, amazing how things work, doesn't it? Amazing how things work. But yeah, Llorente. No, no, thank you. Off you go. Sell for me. And it doesn't look like anyone is disagreeing. Is there anyone? Yeah, Spen. He came on in extra time, so he actually got he actually got minutes in a Europa League final. Crazy, isn't it? But that's how it is. Different leagues, different styles. I just don't feel like the English game is for Llorente. And it's quite funny, isn't it, when we look at Llorente and Pascal, who are both in this list. In the At the end of our first season, they were looking like a well-oiled partnership. It's crazy how things can change, isn't it? Crazy. But you have to go with the evidence. And for me, Llorente, yeah, you gotta go, buddy. Sorry. Nice again, nice guy, but nah. JB. JB is in my keep section because I feel like the championship will be the time where we get to showcase JB and he can showcase his talents. I feel like he will be one of our players that will be in that rotation where he gives us energy, he gives us guile, can score goals from midfield. Remember what those are like, people? Goals from midfield. It's been a while, hasn't it? He will give us that kind of game. Yeah, John, his time to star. Yeah, Seastone regular starts for JB, please. Deshaun Keep. Yeah, Keep, he looked really exciting. Yeah, and that's the problem. We haven't seen enough of him this season for me when there's been ample opportunities when Rucker's not been doing anything while Adams has been out. I feel we could have got a little bit more, game time out of him. But it wasn't to be. No one trusts the kids here, even though the last time we were in the Premier League, our best players were literally kids. But you know what? Let's not go back to that. If we're not going to go back 3 years, let's not go back 20. But yeah, and this is another point. Red Dead Brett, he hasn't been tarnished by this season too, like a fresh signing. A lot of the youngsters that we've named and the ones that don't have pictures, they won't have any of the baggage that a lot of these players will have. They will play without fear. They will play with freedom, and the crowd will be backing them all. Whereas some of these players will have such expectations on them and the weights around their necks, they're going to feel it. These players are going to get back by the crowd. They're going to be given rope to make mistakes, which is going to happen. But yeah, for me, his potential is very high. He definitely stays. Oh, Lewis Bay. I would probably loan him back out. Coffee is soup. If we're not going to sell him, I'd probably loan him back out because you know what? Let's just go to the next one. Archie Gray, midfield buddy. Because if we're keeping Archie Gray, JB around, I want some midfield experience in there. And when I say experience, I'm talking like your 24 to 29-year-old players, which we need to recruit. So for me, Archie Gray, Darko, JB, give him game time. Because Archie Gray, for me, I'm seeing Archie Gray as being Alex Scott for Bristol City this season. I feel like he can have that kind of impact with more goals as well, by the way. Alex Scott, good creative player, but Archie Gray, I feel like will get us a few goals too. This is if we're going to play these players, it's got to be now in the championship. It has to be. Give them the game time. Jack Wilson saying keep Archie Gray and starting with JB. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you got a nucleus of what I've got kept there, plus some experience in there, some good experience, people that can play with the ball, we're in a strong position, people. Absolutely strong position. Jim saying future star, we need to keep him and give him some decent minutes. Yeah, 100%. If you've come in late, there's names that if they haven't got a picture, I've spoke about them at the start, so you'll have to go back near the start to hear about those names. Um, wow, Mister, are you a Leeds fan? Surely not. Sell Archie Gray? No, come on, no, no, no. But yeah, so yeah, Archie Gray, big part of the future. Hopefully one of the key players for us in the championship. Right. I feel like I haven't done a sell in a while. So let's go back to that. Um, well, it's not really sell as such, but it's more just do not offer him a new contract. Don't Don't offer him a year extension, please. Let him go. You've already made one mistake in triggering someone's extension when they shouldn't have had it extended. No, please. Adam Forshaw, no, no, thank you. I hope he does well wherever he goes next. Good for him. I hope he does well. But no, the Leeds United story has got to end. You're also having to look at him as well as his availability. Championship season is a long slug. Does anyone see Adam Forshaw playing Saturday and then again Tuesday? I don't. I don't see it happening. He barely managed to do one game a week in the Premier League. No. But let me get your opinions, of course. Sean Williams bench be good for the kids to learn from. What are they learning, Sean? The one thing that they'll learn from Forshaw is how to persevere and get back from a serious injury. That is true. But I always say about learning, and it's an extreme example, but I'll have to use it. Is Phil Foden at Man City? He's learning off David Silva. He's learning off Kevin De Bruyne. He's learning off players like that, players of that ilk. What are these youngsters going to learn from Adam Forshaw in terms of playing football? I just want to know that. Forshaw to go. It's Geronimo saying if he wasn't injured all the time, he'd be decent. Spence saying, and then learn to get injured again. I just always have to make that differential because it doesn't matter if someone's experienced. Lee Cattermole was an experienced player. It doesn't mean that you want your youngsters learning from Lee Cattermole. You know what I mean? It's about having good pros behind you, and that's where the replacements come in, the better players come in, and then you get Archie Gray and these guys to learn from those experienced pros that we can get in the championship. But some of these guys, nah. Nah. C Stone, I don't want him taking up space we need for our younger players in the physio room. Tremendous. Tremendous. Yeah, Sam, learn how to make 5-yard passes. Yeah, the bar is so low for Forshaw when people say he has a good game. He just has to get around the pitch and pass the ball a few yards, and people think he's had a complete game. I'm sorry. Football is way it's not as simple as that. It's a simple game, but it's not as simple as that. Yeah, Brendan, that's how I would categorize it. Experienced but not good enough. Yeah. And that's where we'll leave Adam Forshaw. Again, if you disagree, put it in the comments. These are my thoughts, and I'm not willing to budge on Adam Forshaw, not one bit. Now, this one is going to be a bit of a debate, and I'm willing to budge on this one. This is going to cause a little division, I think. Brendan Aronson. Now, I am in the middle here with this one as to sell or bench. And again, he's another one that has got a relegation release clause, which his agent has let everyone know. But is he going to actually get sold? Now, if he doesn't get sold and he's here by the first game of the championship season, do we get the first half of the Premier League, Brendan Aronson, where he was a bit more creative? Or do we get the second half where it was just an absolute disaster, running into players trying to get cheap free kicks? Which is the half we're going to get from Brendan? Let's see. Let me see what you're playing. Let me see what you're saying. I've just read playing and said saying. Tremendous. Paul Gray saying Aronson sell. Imagine him at Millwall away next year. Weak as we. Yes, remember family show people. Championship defenses will eat him up. Yeah. Feather blowing in the wind. Right. Slow steady Steve saying keep it's a different kettle of fish in the championship. I do agree it is a lot more physical in the championship. And he was trying his best in the Premier League to get cheap free kicks. He's definitely not going to get those in the championship. But yeah, Zandra saying keep him if we can. I think he will come good and we will see the Chelsea Aronson again. He always runs his knackers off, running around hype, but he's got to do something with the ball, in it. I don't like with Forshaw, it applies with Brendan Aronson. Heat map hype, I don't care. What are you doing with the ball? Can you score a goal for me? Can you please provide an assist, a big chance? Can you do something like that for me, please? That's what I want to see. And in the first half of the season, he was doing that. But after the World Cup, his form just went down the drain. But yeah, so at this moment in time, I'm going to keep Brendan on the bench. Yeah. I thought some of you might convince me to put him in sell, but I'm going to keep him on the bench for now. Ooh, gosh. Right, right. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it then. Oh God, here we go. He's the one that's going to divide everyone, but I'm going to have to say it. Sell Bamford. Mm. I think the Bamford experiment has got to go, and the Stockholm syndrome that people have got with Bamford has to end. And the only way it's going to end is if he's finally gone from Leeds United. And let's face it, I think that some people, Bamford himself, would probably welcome a move, just with how everything has gone. I, and I just go back to his last in the championship. Let's talk about that. 16 goals in that Marcelo Bielsa team is appalling. It's absolutely appalling. People think it was good. There would be games, you go stretches of games just missing chance after chance after chance. And I'm sure whatever manager we get, we're not going to be creating like we did under Marcelo Bielsa. So if it took him that many chances to get 16, what is it going to take years later, by the way, in his condition now? For me, it's an easy sell. I feel more comfortable with Mateo Joseph and Sonny Perkins taking Bamford's place than seeing Bamford line up for us again. And I'm being genuine with that. Being absolutely genuine with that. That isn't me, being over the top, being reactionary. I'm being deadly serious. You know. Uh oh, someone's just done the whole, let's have a look. Yeah, the old Hulk Hogan, yeah, T85. That doesn't work for me, brother. I'm taking the penalty as it's in my contract. I hear that. JG though is saying one more chance. Come on. Oh man, listen. If you want him to stay, you can make your case and put it in the comments. But for me, his time is up. Absolutely, absolute time is up. Evie and adds as well. Also think he's possibly toxic for the changing room. Yeah, there's just no way on any planet that he takes a penalty over Rodrigo for me. There's no way. But at the time, he's trying to prove a point. Him and Ailing, they're all trying to prove a point, get a goal, shut everyone up. Yeah, not for me, man. Let him go. He'll always have his fan club, but yeah. Leah Moore saying, super chat for Bamford out. Wouldn't trust him to finish a glass of water. And Mr. P saying, easiest decision, sell Lord Bamford of the Shires. Yeah. Uh, and Summoner, thanks for your super chat, but yeah, thanks for that. Fante saying Bamford in the worst 11 in the Premier League. Listen, you can miss a lot of chances. I'll always defend strikers. You can miss chances, but you've got to give us goals as well. And he didn't do that. He got 4 goals in the end, people. Yeah, sorry. Bamford sold. If you disagree, put it in the comments. Where shall we go next? Have we done a keep in a while? Let's go with Verba. I would keep Verba. I think Verba's got the potential. I had to step back from this, and this is why I didn't do the video straight away, because I feel if I did it on the Monday after we got relegated, I'd have probably put him in bench or sell. But I think Max Verba in the championship with some new defenders around him, I think will be a good player for us. And also, I'd put him as vice captain next to Adams. So I'm gonna say keep Verba. Like somebody said though in the Spurs stream, did we overrate him? I did. I'll fully admit that I overrated Verba. But he's got to stay fit as well. He's been injured a couple times. One injury that he came back from very quickly. Another time he kept him out for a bit. So if he can stay fit, yeah. I mean, yeah. Think of that, Nidar Verba Cresswell back to in the championship. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. So yeah, 100, 95% of me keep Verba. Um, and I mean, that's a point, Scott Lightning. Let me scroll back up and get that one. Verba got dragged down by our other defenders. That's what it seemed like, isn't it? He kept people up. Robin Koch, Junior Firpo, they all looked good together for a while. It was only our right back spot that was an absolute calamity. But it just seemed like in the end he got dragged down with the mud, and that can happen, can't it? So yeah. Oh yeah, Shackleton. No, sell Shackleton. LUFC laughs. No, I forgot about Jamie Shackleton, man. There's so many people I forget about. But yeah, sell Shackleton. But yeah, 100% keep Verba. Yeah. And that's a good point. Red Dead Brett, he was firefighting all over the place. Poor lad can't be everywhere. 100%. And I think he will stay. I think there's a good chance we keep Verba. He may get some interest from clubs, but I feel like there's a good chance that he may stay here. Obviously, we'll know over the summer, but yeah, um, yeah, Verba to stay. So there you go. Right. Should we go Georgina Rutter? Yeah, yeah. Jorginho Rutter, people. What are we saying? I've got him in the keep section. I've got him in the keep section because apart from the thought that I think that he might get loaned out to either League One or back to Germany for a season while we're in the Championship, if we are keeping him, then I would keep him in the team. I feel like he's got so much ability. We saw that in his small cameo against Spurs that he come on and looked like because the bar is so low. By the way, he looked like the most agile player that we've ever seen at Leeds United. With how other people were moving around the pitch, like they were turning in treacle and cement. But yeah, Jorginho Rutter for me in the Championship, I would give him a go. What is everyone saying? John H, definite keep. He cooks in the Championship 100. That's how I'm feeling. I'll say that. Ian saying keep. We never seen enough of him. Yeah. Steel S saying keep. Rutter, not seen him yet. Yep. Andy saying keep as a winger though, not a striker. Yeah. For me, he's definitely. You can see in the way he plays, he's definitely more of a forward. He's not an out and out striker. And I think he links up the play much more. And we've seen him track back as well. He likes to win the ball back and create plays. So yeah, and you need that in the Championship. So yeah, keep Rutter, man. Keep Rutter. Um, Jamie saying, agree, Cage, the Championship could be the making of him. Yeah, a season in the Championship could do him the world of good. And this is a good point as well, Matt. Play then if no good, loan out in January. There is always that option. That's a real good point, Matt. That's an excellent point, by the way. That's a real good one. Because there will be suitors for him anyway. He's a highly sought after player. That's why they rushed him for him when they did. And if it isn't working out for him in the Championship, there will be league earned Bundesliga teams that will want him. So yeah, and yeah, hey, that's a good description of him. Rutter is our best enigma. Yeah, man, Jeff Hardy. But yes, anyway, let's move on to somebody else. That's another keep, isn't it? Hey, the keep on it. It's pretty solid though, isn't it? From the keeps. Yes, some may be unrealistic, with Tyler Adams and Rodrigo, but it's a decent keep section so far. Okay. Sinistera is another one I'm going to put in the keep. Um, mm, I would keep him, but I understand people's concerns in terms of just his brittleness and injury record. I've always said as well, I can't go back on it, that your availability is your best ability. But we also have to factor in that if he isn't back fit by midsummer, there might not be a team that will take him on. There might not be a team that will pay his relegation release clause because he's been injured so often. So in that case, and if we keeping him, Sinister in the Premier League was a problem in the limited time we saw him. So in the Championship, yeah, yeah, I would keep him, but he'd be one of those that I think we'd have to rotate because of his fitness issues. But you just know that when he's on the pitch, he's going to be cash money. You feel like a trip to Ipswich, Sinister on the team sheet. We're going to win that game. But let's see what you're saying. Alex is saying keep him but loan him out. Hmm. Lewis though is saying sell. Championship will be another set of injuries. That's what I'm concerned about. True, but Fantaste is saying pretty much what I'm saying. He is Cine too good to lose, prepared to gamble on his fitness, and I'm willing to do that as well. That's what it is. It's a gamble with him and his fitness. Because as I said to Michael, I think he got injured taking a shot one time, didn't he? Like he mishit the ball and went off injured with his foot, which is not good. But when you see him play he's a difference maker in the championship. I think he'd kill it. Jim here saying could get bashed up in the championship, but he could also destroy opposition defenses. Needs to stay. Yeah, pretty fair. Pretty fair. And Jamie, yeah, this we'll end it on this one for Cine. If he can stay fit, he would cook in the championship. That's a big if, though. Yeah, completely agree. Okay, we're on our last 7 now, people. And we're coming up to some of the more precious ones. So let's go with another keep. Willie Nanto, again, another one where it's high, it's unlikely because we're hearing whispers that Arsenal and even Man City are possibly looking at Willie Nanto. And how do you turn that down? But I feel like a season in the championship for Willie Nanto would be good for him. Talking about international football again, I don't think it would affect him because he was playing when he was playing in the Swiss league. And with all due respect to the Swiss league, I think the championship is possibly better than that. So I don't think it will affect him in that way either. And plus, I feel he would get a long run of games. Um, but yeah, Bob saying keep easy one. Karen saying Willie is a keep. Yeah. Jack though saying keep Nanto, but you want to go. Yeah. And that's where I'm going with that one. I feel like if we could keep him, great, but it does seem like there's going to be suitors for him because he's a talented guy, absolutely talented guy. And if it wasn't for, let's not do that. But he came back from Italy injured, he did, but then he was fit. He was fit, and Gracia just did not play him. And then in the end, in the last couple games, he did look like a £4 million player. Much like what we said about Verba earlier, maybe he was dragged down with the rest of the team, but he is definitely a quality player. Let's not forget all the games where all our attacks were going through Willie Nanto. It was Willie Nanto or bust. Okay, let's try and remember that. So yeah, for me, keep Willie Nanto if we can, but it's going to be a tough ask. Let's have a look. Joe Gelhardt. Okay, I'm willing to listen to opinions on this one. I've got Joe Gelhardt on the bench. I feel like he'll be coming back to us. I don't think he's going to go back out on loan anywhere. We've obviously seen there is a player there with Joe Gelhardt in his limited time when we stayed up in the second year. But I don't know. I feel like maybe Sonny Perkins and Mateo Joseph has surpassed him. Yeah, Mark, I'm here as well. Sell or bench, can't decide. Yeah. Bombs here saying Joffrey bench or sell hardly lit up the championship. He didn't. It wasn't a successful loan spell at Sunderland. Speaking to some people at Sunderland, they thought they were going to get something better, and it wasn't quite what they thought it would be. And this is, you know what, with Joseph and Perkins, I'm going to change this one. I'm going to go with sell. I'm going to go with sell. Yeah. I just feel if we didn't have Perkins and Joseph, I'd probably keep him on the bench. But we can only have so many strikers, and for me, I feel like maybe he could do with a move elsewhere, more permanent place where he feels at home, maybe feels wanted 100%, because he was messed about under 2 coaches, wasn't he? Much like Drame, but Joseph Gelhardt got more minutes. Yeah, I've changed my mind. I've put him from bench to sell, and that's purely on the strength of having Joseph and Perkins. Yeah. Yeah, Shane, there is lots of potential, but there's lots of potential with Joseph and Perkins, and I just feel like their potential is possibly higher. But yeah, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on before I change my mind again. Right, we're coming up to some of the core people here. Somerville. Now, Somerville is somebody I could see absolutely murdering the championship. I mean, I think he would absolutely kill it. But I feel from whispers you're hearing about Somerville is that he's probably going to be moving on. And I saw a link to Crystal Palace. I saw one loosely, and it makes all the sense in the world. It makes too much sense that he goes to Crystal Palace if that was to happen. Elise, Eze, Zaha, if he stays, the man them in Palace, South London. Yeah, I can see that happening. But if he is one that is willing to stay, he's definitely a keep for me because what he would do in the championship, ooh, it would be a long day for fullbacks. It will be a long day in the full with the fullbacks. Deshaun saying keep under all circumstances. Yeah, because if you even in our poor games that we've had over the last couple months, when he gets on the pitch, the one thing that he does do is dribble past players and keeps the ball. And that is not what a lot of these guys can say. And you just think again, dropping down the league, championship, I think he'd be cooking. Evie saying keep 100%, offer slightly more money as well. So you're saying get him to sign a new contract? Yeah, 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 yeah. T85 Cree ripped open Cardiff until they crippled him. Yeah, they absolutely crunched him, didn't they? Absolutely crunched him. But Sam is saying bench Somerville, is he even that good? Fair point. I get it. There was a long period of time where he didn't get a goal and everything else like that. But then I also say that his position in the team is he had a shorter bit of rope than other players who often went games without doing anything and continue to get starts. So I would say that in his defense as well. Um, Bump saying here, ask for one year from him. If not promoted, then let him leave. Yeah. If he's willing to do that, cool. But if he wants to go, then of course, as I've always said, don't keep players that don't want to be here. But if he wants to stay, I think Somerville would be a crazy, crazy asset in the championship. Now, okay, here we go. We're going down to the final four. Oh, God. Here we go. It's going to upset some people. Oh, man. Okay. Dallas here. I much like the Gerhardt thing, it kind of goes in between bench and sell for me. The one thing I'm thinking of with Stuart Dallas is not just his versatility, but it's I still feel like if he's recovered from his injury enough, I feel like he could still give you something in the championship. I still think he could be very useful in the championship. Um, yeah, bench Dallas, yeah. Fante saying bye bye, but I'm also on that as well, where I feel like we need a clean slate from these people. I really do believe that. But with Dallas, apart from the last season he played when he got injured versus Jack Grealish, because he was, I'm you know me, I don't rewrite history here. He was a disaster in our second year back. Left, right back, he was poor, both ends. But in the championship, I feel like he could be a decent asset. Evie, I mean, bench, he hasn't done anything wrong this season. That's a joke, isn't it? That's humor. um Shane saying ideal for the championship. He's a workhorse. Yeah. Does anybody say sell? And Brendan, this is a good point. Players coming back from big injuries doesn't seem to work out. And I guess on that basis, though, Brendan, that he's coming back for a big injury. Who's going to take him in that case? So I think maybe it's bench by default. If we're being honest here, because he could declare himself fit, but then a future club that would want to buy him would say he hasn't played for over a year. We're not taking that risk on him. So I think anyway, by default, it's going to be bench. But I'm also with people that think he should be sold as well. I do get that side as well. Lewis is saying sell the rest, mate. Well, Lewis, it's a spoiler because it kind of is. Let's go through them. Okay, now we're on line 2 of sell. We're on line 2 of sell. Hold on now. Now Jack Harrison for me. Jack Harrison for me is somebody that I was looking at and I thought possibly keep, and that's only on the strict basis that I think he would like Somerville. I think he would absolutely murder the championship. You know, he was inconsistent in his first couple goals, yes, but I think at this stage now, with what he can do, the glimpses that you do see in the Prem in the 4 games in a row that he plays well, you equate that to the championship, then I think he would be real good. But this is it from Carlos Alberto. The inconsistency for me is too much. And also, I believe that the relegation release clause he's got is going to be met in the summer. So again, that kind of goes in my thinking of there's no point even putting him on the bench or in the keep section. So I think that there's going to be a couple teams after him in the Premier League. but just his inconsistency was too frustrating for me um, to continue to keep him. I hope he does well at the next club he goes to because he is a good guy, absolutely brilliant guy. But on the pitch, he goes missing far too often for me. And I know people always point to his overall stats of the season, and that's fine, but he does it in clusters. He does it in games in a row, but then he'll go 10 games in a row where he does nothing. This season alone, we've seen him, under Jesse Marsh having to play more central, it not really work out for him there. He goes back out to the wing, and apart from the 4 good games in a row he had, and then he signs a new 5-year contract off the back of it, he then goes quiet again. So yeah, for me, it's a sell. Get the money, get somebody better in, and you can get better than Jack Harrison. I know the Jack Harrison fans don't believe you can get better than Jack Harrison. That's Stockholm syndrome, but you can, and we're gonna have to try. Okay, we're gonna have to try. Andy saying Jack Keep insane in the championship goals and assist guarantee. I believe that too, Andy, but I just don't think he's going to be here. There's too many, not even whispers. There's too much chatter about Premier League clubs ready to activate that clause. So I think he's gone. Um, and also as well, Captain Elwood here. Jack isn't heroin. I don't know why we keep using him, man. But this is another thing as well. For me, in terms of what's happened this season in team selections, when we talk about players like Somerville and other players that haven't been able to get runs of games like a Jack Harrison does, that's a problem for me as well, because that just shows that if as long as he's here, he's always going to get starts no matter how poor he is. And for me, we can't have that. Can't have it. There's been games where he could have been taken off or not start, and he just constantly gets rolled out and rolled out. And there's been Nanto, Somerville, Jorginho just left on the bench. And why? So yeah, that's another thing for me why I want him sold. Um, Luke Ayling, sell 100% sell. This shouldn't have even been a discussion. This should have been one where we release him in the summer and say thank you for all you've done. But it is your time is up. And for me, with me putting Rasmus on the bench and Drame being our first choice, Luke Ayling has to go. I feel like at points this season between him and Rasmus, it's just been an absolute clown show at right back. And not just that, and we can equate this to Liam Cooper and a couple of others. These are players that were Midland Championship players before Bielsa got their hands on him, and they were younger then. They're older now, and they don't have Bielsa. So for me, he has to go. I don't care about the year extension. See you later. We need new leadership in there. He isn't it. And when I say this, I want new leaders in there that are of the age of 25 to 30. We should be looking at that kind of age range to buy players. Although the left back that I've got in mind isn't that old. So, but you know what I mean? We need some new leaders in there that can play football as well. And for me, his days are numbered, absolutely numbered. And Sam saying sell to Yeovil. I said it before, but I really wasn't being horrible. I thought at the end of this season, after we stay up and Luke Ayling has his send off, he would possibly go back to Yeovil Town and try and help them get promoted again. I genuinely thought that might have been a thing. But no, he had a 1.5 decent games against Man United where he was still at fault for a goal, by the way. Remember, he stopped chasing Sancho for a goal. And he got a new extension. The way this club has been run is this is the reason why we are back where we are, I'm afraid. And for me, Ayling has to go. Thank you for everything, Bill. You're a great guy, absolutely great guy. And another one, great guy off the pitch, good ambassador for the club, but your time is up. And yeah, I know, Deshaun, battle of the bozos and our defense. Yeah, got to get rid of them. And lastly, Liam Cooper. I know his post on Instagram has touched a lot of people's hearts, and that's what he does. If there's one thing that Liam Cooper does, he talks as a fan because he is a fan of Leeds United. But I would hope, yeah, I would hope that Liam Cooper, it's hard to do, but I would hope that he would say, you know what, I'm not it anymore. It's time for somebody else to come in. I will leave the club. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But the club have got to get into it now and sell. They have to move on from him now. I've already said Tyler Adams, if you can convince him to stay, Captain Armand on him, Verba vice captain, and move on. Ryan Vorley, though, saying never selling Cooper. Um, C Stone saying sell Cooper to a League One team, life comes full circle. And you just think about that. Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling, I'll group them together. Man, if Marcelo Bielsa hadn't been here, God knows where these two would be. But with Liam Cooper, apparently there is some interest in him, and that's cool. Maybe he can go to Scotland. Maybe he goes to Scotland and finishes out his career there. You know, try and gets himself more visible to the Scotland manager. I don't know, but I just know that I feel it's time for a new leadership council at the club. Time for a fresh start, and you're only going to get that once these guys have gone. So for me, Liam Cooper, you've given it your all. I've always said about Liam Cooper, great ambassador off the pitch. Love the work he's done around the community. And listen, when he retires, he can come back and do the same thing again, be an ambassador off the pitch. But on the pitch, it's done. But what are you guys saying? Dr. Cox is saying Cooper might go back to Hull City. Hey, that could be an option for him too. Jack Wilson saying Rangers might like Cooper. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's some Scottish teams that would take Liam Cooper. This is what I'm saying to people. Just because we don't rate the players, or if you don't rate the player, doesn't mean there's not takers for these players. There's always takers for footballers, and agents can make it happen. Yeah, Bums. Yeah, these guys down tools on the guy who made them. It's facts. That's why I'm saying I don't know how people love both Bielsa and the old guard, because yeah. And yeah, John, yeah, no more leadership councils, just a captain. Yeah, that's how it was before. But for me, I feel like loads of players should be your captains. You should have a bunch of leaders, not just you've seen with our team, Strauch, Koch. Some of these guys, they need guidance. That's what we need to get rid of out of this club. People that just need reliance on other people. Yeah, we need it. We need a fresh start. And yeah, Brendan, out with the old and in with the new. So yeah, I'm gonna finalize that. Let me just put this in full screen. Let me get myself out of there. So yeah, Keep, Adams, Drame, Rodrigo, JB, Gray, Verba, Rutter, Sinister, and Nonto, and Somerville. Who else was on that Keep one? Someone without a picture? Creswell. Yeah, Creswell. And Sell, McKenny is obviously gone. Millier, Rucker, Furpo, Strauch, Greenwood, Cock, Llorente, Forshaw, Bamford, Gelhart, Harrison, Ayling, and Cooper. Bench, Robles, Christensen, Klaassen, who? Aronson, and Dallas. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. Yeah. Oh, Yelder. Yeah. I think I said Yelder for the bench, didn't I? Yeah. And Dan James is benching as well. But Andy, no starting keeper. Let me make it clear again for the people that are late. Anybody who's being sold, I'm assuming that they're going to be replaced either by players in the team, either by players in the team or by players being bought in. That's what I'm doing. I'm not just saying sell these players and not replace any of them. And obviously, we need a new first choice goalkeeper, and that's how. But this isn't that video. This is a keep sell bench, not who I would bring in to replace them. But I do have somebody. Like I say, I'm going to do a left back video. I don't know if I'm going to do it today or tomorrow. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a keep sell bench, not who's going to replace them kind of thing. Shackleton, no. He's on the sell list, man. He's on the sell list. Scott is saying themselves would make us around 70 million. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just as long as we're not paying anybody off to leave the club again. We've done enough of that over the past couple of years. And Roberts is not being, he's on the sell list, people. It's just that some of them don't have pictures on this graphic that I have. So yeah, listen, people, that is the video. Okay. That's where I stand. Obviously, there's a couple fluid ones that you could go either way on the sell or bench, but I feel otherwise that's a pretty good keep list. And if you could keep those players, then we're in a good stead to come straight back up. But obviously, it's a hard task, especially when you consider Tyler Adams, Nanto, Rodrigo. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but that is what I would do at this stage anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that. And listen, for the people watching the playback, or people that watch live now, put your keep, sell, bench in the comments if you wish. And yeah, and what did we speak about at the start? Oh yeah, Radrizzani and the Elland Road thing. Wow, yeah. When it rains, it pours, isn't it? Uh, before we end, let me just go through a few more of your comments. Um, Red Dead Brett KG for sporting director. I'd love it, man. I'd love it. Mr. P saying, surely international striker Bamford is worth a few bob. It's like some people said yesterday, and shout out to them. Um, there'll be teams coming up, maybe Burnley, maybe not Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United got enough kind of Bamford strikers, in all honesty, but there will be teams that will possibly take a risk. I even look at Everton, people. I even look at Everton and say, Everton need a striker. And listen, look at their strikers so far. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, always injured. Mope is an absolute scrub. So why wouldn't they get Bamford? Maybe they can rehabilitate him. There's always going to be a club for players like that. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah. John saying, took our minds off Rad skullduggery. Thank you for that, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Sam saying, is there a transfer target video on its way? It is, yeah, because I've definitely got somebody in mind. I've kind of got made peace with my Premier League list that has now been filed away in a drawer. But what I will say is, if those players on my list for the Premier League do get sold, I will mention them and say, this player that I was going to say we should have signed, I'll let you know who they are. So yeah, 100%. And Tuck, we got a Penguins hater here. Penguins rigged the LA NHL draft for years. Stop crying. Stop crying. Paul saying, great vid as usual, KG, and good fun for us all. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, man. You know, things like this, they're subjective, and I don't want people to get in your feelings. What I would always try and say to you is that a majority of this team helped us finish with 31 points in the Premier League. So try not to be too attached to some of these players. Just put your opinions in. If you disagree, it's fine. Absolutely fine. Andrew saying, top stream as always, Cage, you never change. Never. Always be the same. But listen, people, I'm going to end it there. We spent some good time with each other today. Please hit a like on the video. Best way to support the channel. Drop your comments and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.